was born in Montreal, Canada, yeah, a long time ago. And I used to, I was growing up very thin, and my ankles weren't working. I used to go ice skating on the river, and my mother would say, the one coming back on the knees, that's my daughter. Family doctor said, you know, if I were you, I would register at the ballet school. That might be good for her bones. So she did. And I became, where I went, the teacher at the engagements in Montreal at the theater where they had operas and all that, where there's a ballet. And he used to take his best and bring them there and show them the ballet of the occasion. So I got in there, and I used to love it so much, you know. I would rather dance than eat. And so I became on the stage, you know, and I did acting too and singing and everything.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I started on ballet, on toes and all that. And my favorite, the one I used to dance the most was a can-can. Yes, the Canadian girls are not tall, but I used to be the tallest one, and I know music because I'm a musician. I play piano, and I could tell, you know, the orchestra leader when it was time. So he used to put me the first one all the time, and the first one goes on the split, and we were 16 girls. Imagine the first one had to stay in the split for the other 15 girls. I used to say, oh my God, I'm gonna die, you know. And we did a tap and everything. Montreal is French. I'm French, and everything we did was the French part, you know.
Wow.
And we did that. And of course, I left the toes after a while, and I used to like character dancing, like Spanish and the Indians and all that. I thought that was more rewarding than on the toes, you know. But I did a lot of toes, you know. After a while, the war came, and her mother said, Al would like Jackie to come and work in the nightclub. So my mother said, never will she go in the nightclub. But one day, he fired a girl right on the spot. And I had the talent of being able to learn a routine just like that.
Yeah.
Wow. And she said, Al wants her to come. Can't you come? So I went to replace that girl, and I stayed there 5 years. And it was funny. We played. I was in a review, which we played in Montreal a month. Then we went to Quebec City for 2 weeks. And a girl got appendicitis. So my aunt was a prompter, you know, that tells the people, you know, their lines. You know, they didn't have cue cards then. And they said, oh, Patsy can't make it. And they had been playing a whole month. They said, we need somebody at the last minute. We're taking the train tomorrow to go to Quebec. So my aunt says, she can do it.
My niece can do it.
Yeah, my niece. So I went to a girl's house and I learned 3 routines. One was with guns. They go brr, 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 and you have to turn your head at the right
beat, yeah.
And one was an old-fashioned dance. But we had to act. Yeah. And it was a comedy, and they had a big table, the President of Canada, the President of the United States, and they were discussing politics. So the girls would come, you know, with a little apron and put a bib on them before they ate, you say, but they forgot to tell me the details. So we got doing the matinee, and so far I'm doing the routine okay. So I got Mackenzie King. He's a Canadian Prime Minister. So I put the bib on him and I make a big knot in the back, you know. So at one point he's saying, Monsieur President, you know, the United States, and he goes, President, and he's saying, God, he's swearing like that. Who did this? Who did it? I said, oh, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. Oh, and it was my first time. Oh no, please don't. So he said, who is the one that made a knot in this thing? I said, me. So the choreographer said, excuse me, but she replacing a girl, and she learned the routine at the last minute. He says, okay, but don't put a knot in tonight when we do that.
You went for a tour around Canada.
Yeah, oh yeah, we did all of Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, and I used to belong to a Jewish association. I'm not Jewish, but believe it, we were 4 Gentile girls, the rest were all Jews, okay? And we used to go to well, my English is not so good, to places like the soldiers were, the soldiers, the airmen. We used to go to the camps and do a show, you know, for them. And after they would receive us and give us some food, you know. And that was
That's very nice.
Oh yeah. We used to do all kinds of dancing. I did all kinds of dancing.
Yeah, sounds like you really did everything.
Yeah, because when we're in the operas, some were the different countries, and we had to do the dance of the countries, you know. But I think somebody that dances, that goes into that field, have the best life in the world. 93 years old.
You're 93?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they don't believe it because I'm so full of life, and it's because I did. That's all I did. I didn't smoke. I didn't do anything. You know, I just dance. You know. Yeah.
How many years were you dancing?
Yeah.
Oh well, till when I was a child, till I got married. Taught I had to learn all the dances and teach them. So I know all the fields, you know, and everything.
When did you come to California?
Oh, because I hated the winter.
Okay,
Oh,
snow.
Montreal, it starts to rain and snow the 1st of November, and it quits about the 1st of May. You know, I froze myself so much. And we had when we danced, you know, in the operas and all that, we had an old theater, and it was cold.
Yeah.
And so, you know, sometimes the ballet would come only at the end of the 3rd act.
Right.
So they would have us go in and sit there. And sometimes we had to sit on the floor, you know, in the scene and wait for the our turn to come. And I think we got cold.
Yeah.
So I got cold in my legs.
Yeah,
and
sounds like your
wrists.
muscles.
Yeah. You get cold and, you know. So I decided I want to see the beaches. I want to see the palm trees. I love that because I love Hawaiian dancing. The manager of the nightclub had a restaurant here in Hollywood, so he said, come over.
So
I
you
was
continued
married.
dancing
Yeah.
in California?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And so we moved there. And of course I did dance. I went to Arthur Murray. He had a studio on Fairfax and I don't know, one of the streets there. But it was not the same anymore because in my time we had contracts and people had to sign a contract. Then they took that away because they got sued, and it was not fun anymore.
Oh.
And that's the way. So now I can't dance. And the reason for my legs, my doctor says we have a new drug on the market. You try it. So he gave me that drug for 5 years. Till one day on TV I see a woman that fell because I went to work one morning and I just crumbled on the floor, on the ground, and my leg was broken in 3 places. So the doctor said to get off that drug right away. I said, it's no good. He says, well, you know, we didn't know, we tried it. I said, tell you patients, you know, when a drug is no good. He says, it's good for the hip. It strengthens the hip, but it breaks the femur in your leg. So it broke the femur in my leg.
Oh my goodness. That's impressive.
That's it. Can't dance anymore.
So was that the end of your career?
Yeah. And I got a lawyer and I tried to sue them, and they told me the case was not big enough to do anything about it. But my career is done, you know, I mean.
How old were you when
About not long ago, about 15 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. I was dancing with you. I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry because I want to dance. You know? Yeah,
Sounds like you had a really fun life.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
It was so nice
Awesome.
meeting you and talking
Yeah,
to you.
thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure.